Good evening. Tonight we'll have a look at how the City of Huntingburg plans to move forward, the Ferdinand Chamber of Commerce, and your local stories, sports, and weather coming up here on the 18 WJTS News. This is the 18 WJTS News. Good evening, I'm Charlotte Olson. The City of Huntingburg is looking to move forward on plans to improve the city's wastewater system. The Huntingburg City Council's first topic of discussion last night was to approve and set a date for a public informational meeting on the city's planned wastewater force main project. The city has had this idea in the works for the past 4 years with the objective to add capacity to the city's wastewater systems. During last night's gathering, Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner highlighted the importance of such an important project.
The reason for this project is to add capacity to our system. If we do not grow the system at this time, we would may become subject to a sewer ban, as we are at capacity in some of our areas on the north side. The project has been bid and is now going through that process of determining the final numbers on that. Because of a potential rate increase, because of this work, we're going to have an informational meeting. There are 3 boards that need to act on any kind of increase. It's the Utility Board, the Board of Public Works, and the Citizens Rate Advisory Board.
The meeting will take place on November 19th at 7:30 p.m. at the City Hall in Huntingburg. Also last night, the Huntingburg Council was introduced to the newest member of the Huntingburg Police Department. Esther is a 2-year-old German Shepherd canine and was recently acquired by the department and will serve as a drug enforcement dog. Esther joined the force this week and will be paired with Officer Josh Hemmer, and Esther is trained for search and narcotics in several methods, including vehicles, mail packages, buildings, and even schools. Huntingburg Police Chief Arthur Park says that very friendly canine is a very special addition to the Huntingburg Police Department and is a very special gift.
I had the opportunity to go down to Evansville when they was training and talk with the 2 instructors, and the one instructor had her for like a year before, and he was going to keep her for his personal pet. And with working with dogs for years, he knew that she had a special gift, and he couldn't just keep her as a pet. And he said she's, from all the dogs he's had, she's the most exceptional one at getting drugs. And when I was down there, they went through like 3 cars, and I mean, she was on it, and they went in the house, and she knew where they put the stuff right away. I mean, it was instant. I mean, she knew where it was basically before they even give the call for her to go search. So it's wonderful to get a dog like that. Not only is it a canine dog, but it's got, she's extra special. So.
Esther's addition was made possible thanks to the support from the city and the community. Esther's cost in training was tabbed at about $8,000 and was raised through donations from local businesses and the city's rainy day fund. Park says the department will seek more donations down the road to help with Esther's veterinarian costs, food, and general upkeep. And the council heard a report last night from Roger Niehaus and Alan Noss of the Fairmont Cemetery Board about financial concerns. The cemetery board had approached the city earlier this year in regards to their worries about the finances, but has since reorganized itself into a 5-person board with members appointed by local churches and even appointed by the mayor. With Fairmont's status as a public cemetery, the board is a nonprofit. The main issue with the cemetery is upkeep, with lots of sales as its primary income, along with some interest. Fairmont Cemetery was established in 1876, and as a public cemetery, anybody can be interned at that location, regardless of their denomination. The cemetery even has a section of land set aside for those who cannot afford a lot to be buried for free. The board has been seeking different ways to raise money, from charity grants to donations. The city, by state law, can set some money aside to help the entities of the historical importance. Given the cemetery's history, the council believes that the cemetery does classify as a historical site. Through resolution, the council agreed to set aside a one-time donation. 8th District U.S. Congressman Larry Bhushan paid a visit to Dubois County Thursday afternoon as part of his education tour. Bhushan spent an hour speaking with students at Forest Park High School before heading up to Jasper, where he held an education roundtable with local administrators at the Center for Technology and Innovation and Manufacturing on the Vincennes Jasper campus. Bhushan spent the past week visiting high schools and universities in southern Indiana. He says a goal is to hear firsthand the challenges facing educators and students and to discuss possible solutions to meet the needs of future generations.
I'm spending time in Indiana, going around and talking to universities, as well as holding some basically listening sessions, education roundtables with representatives from local high schools and grade schools, talking about the challenges that they're all facing. And you know, at the higher education level, of course, the cost of a higher education is on the front burner, and with students and parents, and so we're talking about some of the challenges universities face when it comes to setting their tuition, but also talking about where federal policy is interacting with the institutes of higher education, including Pell Grants and Perkins loans and those things, and what the challenges to those programs are going forward.
During his roundtable discussion with administrators at VUJC, Bhushan talked primarily about federal policy as how it relates to No Child Left Behind Act, student testing, teacher testing, as well as evaluations of schools. The congressman says his plan was to basically listen to administrators' ideas, concerns, and the challenges they face.
You know, there are some substantial challenges, you know, trying to recruit good teachers and pay them well, and that's becoming a challenge, you know, based on funding issues, and we're just, you know, listening to all the kinds of things. There's some federal issues that are challenges, like some of the new requirements for food in the cafeterias, which are increasing costs, and also, again, some of the national testing requirements.
The congressman visited Oakland City and Evansville on Monday and Vincennes on Tuesday. Bhushan represents Indiana's 8th district in the United States Congress. The district includes all of 18 counties, including Dubois, Spencer, Davies, Greene, Knox, Martin, Perry, Pike, and Warwick counties, and part of Crawford County. During last week's Ferdinand Chamber of Commerce annual dinner, it was announced that the town's recent 175th celebration raised $80,000 for the community endowment. The Dubois County Community Foundation says the gift brings the Ferdinand Community Endowment total to over $185,000, nearly doubling its asset base. Pat Miller is the vice president of the Ferdinand Chamber of Commerce and foundation board president. She says as a committee, one of the first decisions made was to determine how the proceeds would be used. Miller says it was felt by all involved that growing this endowment remains a priority for the community. The Ferdinand Community Endowment was established in 2001 to provide support for the people of Ferdinand and its surrounding area for a variety of charitable causes. Recent grants from the endowment include funding for a new sidewalk at the Ferdinand Community Center and support to the Ferdinand Folk Fest and Forest Park Band Boosters. Community Foundation CEO Brad Ward says, "It inspires each of the county's towns and communities to invest in the future and ensure lasting resources for a better, brighter place." For more information on how to give to this endowment, contact the Dubois County Community Foundation at 812-482-5295 or by visiting dccommunityfoundation.org. Up next, we'll have a look at your weather here on 18 WJTS.